something big just leaked online which indicates the next project being developed by a small gaming company called Valve. Yeah, obviously I'm kidding, you definitely know about Valve. They are one of like the biggest gaming companies in the world. They've developed Half-Life, Portal, Team Fortress 2, Left 4 Dead 2, Dota 2. Yeah, I'm realizing there are a lot of 2s here. And speaking of course, a lot of people have been wondering when Half-Life 3 is coming out. That's probably the most anticipated game like of all time. To my understanding, that game has been developed since approximately the fall of the Holy Roman Empire. It's sort of a meme at this point, but a game that is almost as big as Half-Life 2 is Team Fortress 2. Now that game started what ended up being one of the most popular categories of online games, and that is the hero shooter. You know, the type of game where it's just two teams going at it, but each character has a unique ability, you know, that kind of game. Team Fortress 2 really kicked off these kinds of games, and they were the top dogs for roughly 10 years, like a whole decade. Team Fortress 2 came out in 2007, and in 2016 Overwatch came out, and slowly but surely that game became the dominant hero shooter. That was released by Blizzard. Well, fast forward to right now, and actually Overwatch and what ended up being Overwatch 2 has kind of been dethroned now by Valorant. So that game was developed by Riot Games and was released in 2020, and probably in the past year or two now, that game has really grown a huge following, and with a lot of the blunders that Overwatch 2 has ran into over the past couple years now, Valorant is easily the most popular hero shooter right now. But what is the most popular shooter right now? Well, that would probably have to go to Counter-Strike, or now Counter-Strike 2. And that is another game by Valve. Yeah, another game with 2 at the end of the title by Valve. I know I just kind of threw a lot of games at you, but that is to show, you know, all of the crazy stuff that has been behind all of these hero shooters in roughly the past 2 decades now. It was started by Valve, and now even though Team Fortress 2, it still has a following, it's definitely not the top dog anymore. Valve definitely has a huge following with Counter-Strike, which is just a regular arena shooter, but not so much now with Team Fortress 2, not when you look at the grand overall marketplace of hero shooters right now. Well, it turns out Valve may be working on another completely separate hero shooter, because screenshots just leaked on, from what I can see, is 4chan. This was just yesterday, and now of course it's been all over Twitter. So this is allegedly a hero shooter called Deadlock that is in pre-alpha, being tested right now by just a few hundred players. And I have to say, the screenshots look pretty legit. I'm not going to post them, obviously. I don't want to get my video taken down. But from the screenshots and from what is reported, it is a 6v6 hero-style shooter, and it is in third-person mode. That's kind of the interesting aspect of it, which kind of reminds me of Marvel Rivals, which is in alpha right now. That is by NetEase. So that is an upcoming big hero shooter. That could be very big, but I don't know, with Valve, well, you just can't underestimate Valve. As big as Marvel is and as iconic as their characters are, I don't know, when Valve does a game, they really do it right. So with these allegedly leaked screenshots, there are a ton of questions. Now, surprisingly, I haven't seen a lot of people talk about this, but what I am wondering about a lot right now is, what does this mean for Team Fortress 2? That is, of course, Valve's iconic hero shooter. I would call it a hero shooter at least. Now, that's not me trying to be dramatic and saying that they're just going to completely abandon Team Fortress 2 now. No, definitely not, but if this Deadlock game is actually coming out, well, it would mean they will have 2 big hero shooters on the market. And obviously for the hardcore Valve gamers, this could kind of separate their shooter fan base when you pit it up against Counter-Strike 2. Like I said, obviously that game is way bigger than Team Fortress 2 right now. So if you got big Valve fans that are playing that game, but like maybe half the fan base is more into hero shooters, I don't know, maybe that fan base will go more toward Deadlock. So yeah, if you're curious, you can look up the leaked screenshots. Like I said, I'm not going to post them. I just think it's very interesting. I think these things can sometimes come full circle. A big category of shooters that Valve once started almost 20 years ago, which they have been dethroned from many years ago, could all be coming back to Valve once this game comes out. Maybe Valve will be the top dogs once again of the hero shooter.